Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like over on Prizepicks for the Week 6 Monday Night Football game between the Bills and the Jets. We got Week 6 closing out with a pretty decent Monday Night Football matchup between the Jets and the Bills. We're going to talk through some player props I do like for this game, guys. We got two props I like. We're going to talk about a prop that I like on the Bills side and then a prop I like on the Jets side. So two plays. As always, we're going to break down these plays. We're going to discuss why I like them. Now, before we do get started, make sure you guys hit that like button down below. If you enjoy these Prizepicks videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks and if you don't have a Prizepicks account, make sure to sign up. Use that promo code NOAH, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. When you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and place your first lineup, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account that you can then use towards additional lineups. So be sure to check out Prizepicks, use that code when you do sign up. And also, I do want to give a quick shout out to Sleeper because we also have a partnership with Sleeper. And if you guys want to check out Sleeper, you can do so linked down below in the description. Or again, use that promo code NOAH over on Sleeper and get your first deposit matched up to $100. So if you put in $100, Sleeper will match that, give you an additional $100 to play with. And if you don't know what Sleeper is, they are a DFS app, pick'em app, very similar to Prizepicks, where you're just picking more or less on projections. You're building out an entry. You can make up to an 8-pick entry on Sleeper, and you can win up to 100x your money. So go check out Sleeper, guys. Download their app on the App Store or Google Play Store. They do have an app for iPhone and Android, so download their app, sign up, make a deposit, and be sure to use that code NOAH when you do sign up, so that way you get your deposit bonus up to $100. But yeah, guys, Monday Night Football, Jets and Bills. We got two props to discuss. Now, I do want to recap our 4 plays from Sunday before we talk through this slate. So Sunday was a frustrating day for me. We gave out 4 picks Sunday. So far we've hit 1 play and lost 2. The Cowboys stack that I liked with Jalen Tolbert and Dak Prescott over fantasy score. We obviously saw how that went. The Cowboys went out and got absolutely destroyed, lost by like 40 points. It's going to be hard for a quarterback and their wide receiver to go over their fantasy scores when they go out there and lose by 40 points. So the Dak Tolbert stack, unfortunately, was a miss. We did hit Austin Eckler over receiving yards, and then we'll see about Wan'Dale Robinson under targets in that Sunday Night Football game. Right now, I'm recording this video as that game is starting. Hopefully, Robinson goes under, but either way, guys, let's try and bounce back for this Monday Night Football game. The primetime games have been treating us well lately. We did hit our plays for Monday night. We hit our plays for Thursday night. It was a bad Sunday slate, but let's see if we can get back on track here for Monday Night Football. So looking at the props I like for tonight, the first prop we're going to take a look at is going to be a fantasy score. And the one that I like here is Breece Hall. And we're going to take Breece Hall for more than 14.5 fantasy score. Now, I was looking at some lines earlier before I started recording. Breece Hall's line actually was at 14. It already got bumped up to 14.5. I wouldn't be surprised if you see this line go up to 15, maybe even 15.5. I think this is a really, really good spot for Breece Hall, and I think this is definitely a kind of a get-right spot for him. You look at Breece Hall's game log this season, he started off the season really well, had 19 fantasy points against the 49ers, 24 against the Titans, 18 against the Patriots, but the last 2 weeks against Denver and Minnesota, Breece Hall has really struggled. His efficiency as a runner has been really bad. Against Denver, he had 10 carries for only 4 yards, and then last week against Minnesota, had 9 carries for only 23 yards. But he's had some super tough matchups. Like if you look at how these teams have fared against the run, the teams that he has faced, the only team that's been even like remotely bad at stopping the run of the teams he's faced has been New England. New England's kind of just been like a middle of the pack run defense so far this season. But the 49ers have historically been a good run defense. The Titans have been a very good run defense this season. The Vikings have been a very good run defense. Denver has been a solid run defense as well. So Breece Hall has had a really difficult schedule to start the season, but now he gets to face the Bills, who have been destroyed on the ground this season. This is a really good matchup for Breece Hall. If you look at where the Bills rank this season in terms of like rush yards allowed, touchdowns, stuff like that. In terms of rush yards allowed per game to running backs, they're top 10 in rush yards allowed per game to running backs. Rushing touchdowns, they've given up 3 total rushing touchdowns, which is about middle of the pack. But then from a receiving perspective, we've seen running backs have a lot of success as pass catchers against Buffalo. Buffalo's given up the most targets, most receptions, and most receiving yards to running backs, and they're also giving up 3 receiving touchdowns to running backs, which is tied with the Titans for most in the league. So I think this definitely could be a spot where Breece Hall has a lot of success as a pass catcher, and we know that Breece Hall will be used a lot in the passing game. You can look at so far this season, he has seen 6, 8, 5, 5, and 4 targets. So there's actually a couple of props I like on Breece Hall. I think fantasy score is still my favorite, but I don't mind over 26.5 receiving yards. I think that's a pretty good play. I also like over 4.5 targets. Hall has gone over that line in all but one game this season, and that was last week against Minnesota. But like I said, the Jets use Breece Hall a lot in the passing game. He's averaging like well over, I think like 5 or 6 targets, close to that, like 6 targets per game this season. Buffalo has been killed by receiving running backs this year. So I really like this matchup overall for Breece Hall. Not only should he have success on the ground, because Buffalo is giving up like over 5 yards per carry this season. You look at what running backs have done against Buffalo. Derrick Henry ran all over Buffalo. He had 199 rush yards, averaged over 8 yards per carry. Even last week, Cam Akers averaged over 4 yards per carry against Buffalo. Devon Achane had a pretty good game against the Bills, 96 rush yards on 22 carries. Also had 7 catches for 69 yards, so he was really good in the passing game. Travis Etienne, 11 carries for 68 yards, so he averaged over 6 yards per carry against Buffalo. Also had 4 catches. So like Buffalo's just gotten killed on the ground this season, and they've really struggled defending pass-catching running backs, which Breece Hall is someone that they use a lot in the passing game. And you look at his snaps as well. Like Breece Hall has still been playing a lot of snaps lately, even though the production's been bad. He is still playing on like 70% of the snaps so far this season. 82%, 72%, 71, 69, and 74% snap share. Even with Braylon Allen playing really well, Breece Hall still kind of the workhorse back for this Jets team. He still projects to get probably 15 to 16 touches here, and this is a matchup where he should be very efficient with those touches. So I like Breece Hall for more than 14.5 fantasy score. Just with the yards he should get, the receptions he should get, and the potential for touchdowns here, I would bet on him going over this fantasy score line. And the NFL DFS projections that I look at, they have Breece Hall projected for just over 16 fantasy score. I think at 14.5, this line looks a little low. Again, this line was at 14. It's already been bumped up to 14.5. Still like the over here, though, at 14.5 fantasy score for Breece Hall. So we're going to roll with that as our first prop for Monday night. And then the other prop on the Bills side that I like to pair with that is a receiving yards prop. And we're going to take James Cook for more than 14.5 receiving yards. Now, James Cook was limited all week in practice, but he did not practice for most of the week, but he did get in a limited practice, I believe, on I think that was on Saturday. Yeah, he was a limited participant in practice on Saturday. It is reported that James Cook is expected to play on Monday night. Now, is James Cook going to be limited? We don't really know. I guess that's just kind of the gamble that we're going to take here. But if you look at his prop lines for this game, I'm pretty confident the books are not expecting a limit on James Cook, because I think if he was going to be limited, his lines would be a lot lower than they are. 55.5 rush yards, receiving yards at 14.5, 75.5 total yards, 12 fantasy score. Like, I think these lines would be lower if James Cook was expected to be limited. So I think we're going to get James Cook at full go here. And I like him for more than 14.5 receiving yards. James Cook has historically been a really good pass catcher. You can look at his game log this season. He's gone over this receiving yards line in 4 out of their 5 games so far this season. You look at his volume in the passing game, he's not getting peppered with targets. Like, he's not getting 6, 7 targets. But week 1 against Arizona, got 3 targets. Only got 1 target against Miami, but was efficient. Did have 17 yards on that 1 catch. Got 5 targets against Jacksonville, 1 target against Baltimore, and then last week 3 targets against Houston. But if you look at the games so far this season for Buffalo, like, there's been 2 games that were blowout wins for them. The game against Miami was a blowout win. The game against Jacksonville was a blowout win. Arizona was a close game, and in that game you did see James Cook get 3 targets. The game against Baltimore was actually a game they lost by a good amount. James Cook only got 1 target in that game, but I want to say that Buffalo pulled their starters early in that game because the game was kind of out of hand. And then last week against Houston was a competitive game. James Cook did get 3 targets in that one. So I think in competitive games, we can typically expect James Cook to get like 3 or 4 targets. And James Cook is an explosive player. He is someone that can easily go over this receiving yards line on only 1 catch. He did it week 2 against Miami, had just 1 catch, and he got 17 yards on 1 catch. But he's typically a guy that gets about 3 to 4 targets per game. He's someone that they will use a lot in the passing game. Buffalo does have multiple running backs that they will involve. They'll involve Ty Johnson. They'll involve Ray Davis. But you're still going to see James Cook play on probably 50 to 60% of the snaps. So far this season, he's played on at least 50% of the snaps in 4 out of their 5 games. So he's kind of their clear RB1. He will be involved in passing situations. And again, at 14.5 receiving yards, this is not a hard line for Cook to go over. He could go over this line on only 1 catch. And so far this season, if you look at where the Jets have ranked against pass-catching running backs, they've just kind of been middle of the pack in terms of like receiving yards allowed, receptions allowed to running backs this season. 23 receptions allowed, which is about middle of the pack. 150 receiving yards allowed total, which is slightly below average. I think the matchup's kind of neutral here for Cook. The Jets have kind of been a tougher team to run on. Like, they've historically been a tough team to run on. But I think you can do some damage against them in the passing game with running backs. And James Cook for more than 14.5 receiving yards is a prop that I do like for him tonight. So that's what we're going to roll with, guys, is our 2 props for Monday Night Football. We're going to take Breece Hall for more than 14.5 fantasy score and James Cook for more than 14.5 receiving yards. So if you guys are going to tell me on these 2 plays for Monday night, let's try and get back on track here. It was a frustrating Sunday slate, but let's see if we can get back on track with this Monday Night Football 2-pick entry. Do like this one quite a bit. Let's hit this play, guys. Let's make some money on this slate. And as always, guys, appreciate you watching the videos, hitting that like button. Make sure to do that if you have not yet. Also, if you have not yet, hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, again, be sure to sign up for Prizepicks and use that promo code NOLA. When you do sign up, you will get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account when you place your first lineup, as long as you sign up with code NOLA. So check out Prizepicks, guys. Use that code when you sign up. But good luck on Monday night. Let's get some money in our pockets here. Let's win this 2-pick, and let's see if we can make some money tonight. As always, guys, appreciate you watching, though, and I'll see you in the next video.